Love in the Autumn of Life. Last part. The Quiet Horizon. The sun had fully risen now, painting the sky in soft pastels as the morning spread its warmth over the park. The long night that Margaret and Arthur had shared, with all its reflections and revelations, had given way to a new day. There was a sense of quiet completion in the air, as though the dawn itself had been waiting for them to come to the peaceful understanding they now held. The world around them was beginning to wake up. A few joggers passed by, and the distant hum of the city's life started to pulse once again. Yet, despite the growing activity, the bench where Margaret and Arthur sat remained a place of calm, a space untouched by time or urgency.
Arthur, I've been thinking. After all the questions we've asked, after everything we've shared, I feel like I've come to understand something that I hadn't fully realized before. It's not about how much time we have left, but about what we choose to do with it. Time is always passing, but we have the power to make each moment matter.
I think that's it, Margaret. We've spent so much of our lives thinking about time, how to make the most of it, how to save it, how to stretch it out. But in the end, it's not the quantity of time that matters, but the quality. It's the moments we choose to be present in that define our lives.
Exactly. It's not about counting the days, but about filling them with meaning. And I feel like, in this moment, we've found that meaning. Question: do you think it's more important to focus on how we use our time rather than how much time we have? A. Yes, it's about the quality of the time we spend, not the quantity. B. No, we should focus on both how we use time and how much we have left. C. It depends. Some people need to focus on making the most of every moment, while others find comfort in just having time.
Answer: A. Yes, it's about the quality of the time we spend, not the quantity. I believe it's the quality of time that matters most. We could have all the time in the world, but if we're not truly present in it, it wouldn't mean much. It's the moments where we stop, where we engage fully, that give life its depth and richness. That's what I've come to understand over the years.
Yes, and I think that's the beauty of this stage of life. We're no longer rushing through time, but instead we're savoring it. Every conversation, every shared moment feels more meaningful now because we've learned how precious it really is.
The warmth of the morning sun bathed the park in a golden light, casting long shadows and illuminating the leaves that swayed gently in the breeze. Margaret and Arthur sat together, feeling a sense of quiet gratitude for the time they had shared, knowing that this moment, like so many others, would stay with them forever.
Margaret, we've talked so much about love, life, and time. But there's something else I've been thinking about endings. Do you think there's ever truly an end to the connections we make? Or do they continue, even after we've said our goodbyes? Question: do you believe that the connections we make with others ever truly end, or do they continue on in some way? A. They continue. Our connections don't end. They leave a lasting imprint. B. They end with us once we're gone. The connections fade with time. C. It depends. Some connections last, while others are meant to be temporary.
Answer A. They continue. Our connections don't end, they leave a lasting imprint. I believe that the connections we make don't end with us. They become part of the people we've touched, part of the world we've influenced. Even when we're no longer here, the love we've given, the lessons we've shared, they live on. It's like planting seeds that grow long after we're gone.
I've always felt that way too. We may not always see the impact we've had, but it's there, in the people who've known us. The love and understanding we've shared, it carries on, even in ways we don't expect.
Yes, it's comforting to think that, isn't it? To know that what we've given continues, that we're still part of something larger, even after we've moved on.
The park was fully awake now, but the peace between Margaret and Arthur remained. The morning was no longer a promise of something to come. It was the reality of a moment that they had both fully embraced. The quiet rhythm of their conversation had given way to a deeper silence, not of words left unsaid, but of truths that no longer needed to be spoken aloud.
You know, Arthur, after everything we've shared, after all the lessons and love we've talked about, I think I've come to a place where I can let go of the fear of endings. Maybe it's not about the end at all. It's about how we carry the journey with us, how we let it shape who we are.
I feel that too. It's not the end that matters. It's how we live along the way. The way we embrace each moment, the way we love, the way we make peace with the journey we've taken. That's where we find our true selves.
Question: is it more important to focus on the journey of life rather than the end? A. Yes, the journey is what shapes us, the end is just part of it. B. No, the end gives the journey meaning and purpose. C. It depends, both the journey and the end are important in their own ways.
Answer A. Yes, the journey is what shapes us. The end is just part of it. The journey is what defines us. It's in the steps we take, the moments we live, that we find meaning. The end is inevitable, but it's the journey that holds all the beauty, all the lessons, all the love. That's what we carry with us, and that's what remains.
I think you're right. The journey is where we find ourselves, where we make our connections, where we live our lives. The end? It's just a transition. What really matters is how we've lived along the way.
The sun was higher now, the day fully beginning to unfold. The world was awake and alive around them, but for Margaret and Arthur, the morning felt timeless, a quiet reflection of the life they had lived and the peace they had found. Their hearts were full, not of unfinished questions, but of acceptance and gratitude for everything that had come before.
Arthur, I think I'm ready now. Ready to embrace the rest of the journey, whatever it brings. I don't feel afraid anymore, because I know that every moment has led us here, to this place of peace.
I feel the same way. We've shared so much, lived so much, and now we can move forward, not with fear, but with love and gratitude. The rest of the journey, whatever it holds, will be enough.
As the sun rose fully into the sky, Margaret and Arthur sat together, their hearts at peace, ready to embrace whatever the rest of the journey held for them, knowing that it was not the end they feared, but the love they had shared along the way that would carry them through, like the quiet horizon stretching endlessly before them. Here are 5 words and phrases related to the theme of love in the autumn of life. Last part. The quiet horizon.
Imminence. The idea that the most profound moments of life are present in the here and now, not in distant goals or ends. Fulfillment. The sense of contentment and peace that comes from having lived fully and embraced the journey rather than the destination.
Legacy. The lasting impact of the love and connections we've made, continuing beyond our own lives. Completion. The feeling of closure and wholeness that comes not from an ending, but from a life well lived.
Continuity. The understanding that life and love continue even after we've moved on, through the people we've touched and the moments we've shared.